What's going on, everyone? Thank you for coming to watch. So I've got an update for you guys on Major Hurricane Idalia. So Idalia just strengthened. This is urgent news. Idalia actually strengthened to a Category 4 hurricane as it slammed right through the Florida coastline here. So that was very major news here, but we see the past of Idalia at around 2 a.m. this morning. It strengthened to a 130 mile an hour Category 4 major hurricane. So it is a very, very strong and dangerous storm system. But it is starting to weaken. It's back down to Category 3 status. We just saw it make landfall right around the Gainesville and the kind of the Big Bend region of Florida. Now it moves into Georgia as a Category 2, 100 mile an hour Category 2 hurricane. Right now, it's a Category 3 hurricane still with 120 mile an hour winds. So we still have a high-end, dangerous, major hurricane, Category 3 hurricane on our hands. This is located, well, the center of it is located, I guess you could say, a few hundred miles just east of Tallahassee. Okay, this is going to move into southern Georgia, impacting areas near Valdosta, Savannah, Georgia. You guys are going to get hit by that eye wall. That is almost certain. But these cities and towns, Richmond Hill, Hinesville, Jesup, Waycross, and then Lake City. All of you guys will at least get near the eye wall. But I really do think that the next city we got to look out for is Savannah, because you guys are looking like it's pretty likely that you guys are going to be in that eye wall. You guys are under a hurricane watch. I know it doesn't show, I know it doesn't show the hurricane watch going into Savannah. It just shows the hurricane watches as for the coastline. But there is a hurricane watch up for Savannah, Georgia. But yeah, this goes even past that. It goes to Beaufort, Bluffington, and at this point, it's still a Category 2 hurricane. So it's still gonna have winds over 100 miles per hour, okay? And we're going to have gusts up to 115, 120 miles per hour. That is definitely still going to be with this system as it moves into your area. But we still have been seeing those outer bands reaching into areas near Tampa, Orlando, Spring Hill, Palm Bay, Daytona Beach, Deltona, Orlando, all these major cities out here in the Florida peninsula. So we got to watch out still for that existing severe thunderstorm threat with this as this moves into the Carolinas. And then now we see Charleston, South Carolina in the mix here. You guys are under a hurricane watch. And so, sorry, I meant hurricane warning. So, you guys actually in Savannah and along the Georgia coastline, you guys are under a hurricane warning. I said hurricane watch, but this is a hurricane warning. For you guys in the pink here near Charleston, Isle of the Palms, you guys are under a hurricane watch, but in this blue here, there are tropical storm warnings. All right, and then we move into North Carolina here. Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach out here, you guys are under that tropical storm warning. This moves into this kind of intercoastal regions of North Carolina. You can see Wilmington, Jacksonville, we got Morehead City, all in that tropical storm warning, also including Oak Island. And at this point right here, we would have a high-end 70 mile an hour tropical storm. This is probably going to be somewhere around the middle of the night tonight. So you're probably going to start seeing those really strong winds move into the Charleston area pretty much at around 11 to 12 tonight. Okay, and then this storm moves its way offshore. Still got 60 mile per hour winds. Then it kind of crosses through the old Franklin path here, and then look at this. It tails off, and as for now, it's looking like this could impact a little bit of Bermuda with 50 mile an hour winds. So that's it for the live tracker of Idalia. So we're going to be moving on to our radar. But you can see that Idalia is dropping a ridiculous amount of rainfall, and you can see we have some more broad rotation out with the system. You can see these are our severe storms that we're tracking out here across the Florida Panhandle. We have some very strong storms approaching Port St. Lucie, Fort Lauderdale, approaching Cape Coral, Lakeland, and the Orlando area. There's pretty much all these storm cells here have been producing wind gusts that have gone up to 50 miles per hour. So that is not even just from the hurricane with its winds itself. That's also from winds generated by these severe storms. Move up near the center and the core of the storm here, near Valdosta. You guys are about to get hit by that eye wall. So if you're in Valdosta, please just be ready. If you are not evacuating and you're actually watching this video before the eye wall comes in, please be ready. But I'll give you guys a timeline on when the eye wall is going to arrive. It's pretty much coming in right now. I think maybe in a few minutes you'll start getting those really strong, dangerous winds. But the rest of the storm will carry on moving into Savannah. There's not really going to be an eye, but at that point, probably around, noon to 1 p.m. today, you'll start seeing the heavier rainfall move through Savannah, Georgia. But yeah, all these major cities out here are getting hit very, very hard, especially out here in Florida. You could see even up here near Daytona Beach, there were some pretty strong storms. As far as where we went tonight, we had some tornado warnings up for this area here. We had a tornado watch that went all the way down from the Big Bend area all the way down through Tampa, Spring Hill, and then Northport. But that has expired. We might see another one as we still have those bands of severe thunderstorms rolling through our area. But you can see we're getting to as late as 4:15 this afternoon, and we're still seeing very, very strong storms move their way through Cape Coral, LaBelle, Northport, and Bradenton. So we're really going to have to watch the radar closely because there will be some rotating thunderstorms. We'll have to track those. But then again, we have that very, very intense rainfall. Look at all this rainfall moving its way across southern and central South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, right in the middle of all this rainfall. You can see Orangeburg, Blackville, Williston, Barnwell, and Allendale all in some very, very intense rain. And then Myrtle Beach also in some intense rain. This is probably going to be the hour when you're going to have the worst of the flooding. So you got around 4:15 p.m. You've got very, very heavy rain moving right through Myrtle Beach. It's going to stay like this for at least half an hour. But you also do have those very strong winds whipping along the coastline. Then they're going to be turning rapidly back, shooting right up into the coastline right here. And that's going to create not only storm surge that's going to cause coastal flooding, but you also have all this rainwater rushing down the stream that's going to gather up in those coastal roadways, and you could end up with feet of water piling up on those roadways. So we're going to be moving on to our wind map. I was on waves just because I wanted to show how big those waves are as for now. But we'll look at our current wind gusts. I think that we have stronger winds, but this was around. I would say this is just around 4 to 5 a.m. in the morning. We had some very, very strong southerly winds pushing into the Florida coastline. We can see here near Stenhatchee. I don't know if I'm saying that right. You have winds, these are wind gusts at, blowing to around 100 to 110 miles an hour. I think we saw a little bit stronger, but, according to the Euro, we did see winds at around 100 miles per hour. Okay, this storm moves inland, and it quickly loses steam here. We still see, I'll move this back to the GFS here, but I think we would still see winds at around 100 miles an hour, even as the storm moves into Georgia. It's just, the models are having a little bit of trouble picking these winds up, but at this point, I think we would still see winds at around 80 miles an hour, but so far it's looking like they will be near the Offman, the Backslay, the Jesup, and the Waycross area. So if you're in that area and you're not evacuated, prepare and be ready for the storm, because it's probably gusty at the moment, but those really strong winds, those damaging winds, are going to move their way through the area probably around 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Today. And then the storm moves out into the Carolinas, and we see these offshore winds I was talking about earlier moving right past the Charleston area and then shooting right into the Georgetown, Myrtle Beach, and the Charleston area, seeing winds at around 50 to 60 miles per hour. And then the storm moves out into North Carolina. We see another ramp up of winds here. We could see you got some very strong winds around 50 miles an hour out here in Wilmington, Surf City, Jacksonville. And then those offshore winds also are going to be strong. You can see they could be approaching 55 miles per hour. So that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for coming to watch. It's going to be pretty much it for this early morning update here. But we just got it. I mean, this is what we were forecasting. This is what we knew this was going to happen. I was taken by surprise when I saw Category 4 status pop up here on the National Hurricane Center. But, you know, that's just showing that the storm is definitely not messing around. We have very, very dangerous conditions already unfolding across the area, as we will see some more very, very strong and, you know, potentially catastrophic impacts from the system. So thank you so much for coming to watch, and we'll see you guys in the next video.